Hello everyone, and here is my own little video of like the books I read this semester, or at least I've like touched on and like or read in the past kind of thing, and created a little library presentation of it. I would actually want to start with poetry, just because it's something not something I'm big into, but it was interesting to like learn about and just like be able to read about it in a sense that like not that I have to read it, but it's for a good reason of learning and everything and what is responding well to students and everything. My favorite probably was Lend a Hand because it's just like it's a story compiled of like different like spontaneous like moments of like helping each other out and all that. And you can't forget Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss because it's just a classic that I feel like all children's read or have read. And I know it's something my parents read to me as a child, so it's just like that was also another thing. And then The Giving Tree was just also just so sad to read because it's like, oh, it's like the tree's always giving and everything, and it's like it's just a good book. And it's like we read it in class. I was like, might as well add it to this. And we'll go to traditional literature because why why read if you don't read the classics? As a musician myself, I always feel like yeah, modern music is popular, but classical music was there to begin with for a reason. Might as well go back to it. And one of my favorite things that we read in class was The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, which was like, oh, this is what the big bad wolf was thinking. This is what the pigs were thinking. Like it was good to see. And The Ugly Duckling and Charlotte's Web were also good books in general to read. Science fiction. Oh, going back. Actually, hold on, pause. I will probably read The Ugly Duckling and The True Story of the Three Little Pigs to my students because I just think they're good books to show, especially in traditional literature aspects. So science fiction, I actually read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea when I was a kid because I don't know, it was just the one random book that my parents were like, you should read this. And I was like, okay, might as well. And it's a good book. And it's like science fiction isn't really my thing, but like it's just one book that I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I can't really speak on it just because I haven't read it in such a long time, kind of thing. And we'll keep going. Literature representing diverse populations. Probably a very important topic to talk about with students, especially in this day and age where speaking about your own diversity is either frowned upon or seen as like, oh, like, why are you talking about yourself? Like, why not these other cultures? And I just feel like these are good books that really demonstrate those different cultures and those capacities and like how we can show them to our students. Well, it's like, hey, here are positive things that are happening in this community instead of all the negative things that are being talked about. You know, informational biographical bibliography. Personally, not my favorite, just because I'm not big into like information or like history based things. Um, but like Over and Under the Pond wasn't my favorite to read in class because it was just like, okay, cool, there's fish. But it's like if you have a student who's really interested into those aspects of life, then these are great books to show them if anything. Historical fiction, another thing where it's just like bringing bringing history into a space where it's interesting for students to read. I I love Just Plain Fancy when we read it in class. I was like, this is kind of interesting because I never really was one to like learn about the Amish family or Amish community, but this was like a great way to see a little snippet of it and not be like something so negative as it is like now. Fantasy will always be children's favorite, so why not give them more of that? But in different aspects, because like I feel like The Rabbit Listened offers just a great opportunity to just be like, hey, like your feelings are valid and there's spaces for you to explore them, and sometimes not everybody's going to understand that. Same thing with like contemporary realistic fiction. It's like, oh, like a girl dealing with feeling overweight, but in reality it's who she is, like and she's beautiful for that. At the end of the day, like her own happiness matters more than whatever anybody else is saying, and I feel like that I connected with that personally. It's just like because I've always felt like I'm not overweight per se, but like not attractive to what society standards are, but at the same time it's like, no, I am attractive, I am beautiful in my own sense and who I am as my own person. And at the end of the day, it's more about personality than it is about your looks. So just overall, like I feel like all of these books in their own sense have like a space for everything, whether we like it or not. Not like that, but just like everything has their own space for their own right time, for their own right conversations, you know? It just depends how we show it to our students. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Uh, Later.